G'day guys, this video is all about sleep and why it should be the most important thing that you look at and prioritize when you're starting a new goal, whether it's a fat loss goal or a fitness goal or pretty much anything. When you're adding new things to your life, it builds us up and we end up kind of stretching ourselves quite thin. Often the first things that we quit on is the length or the amount of sleep that we have, which then leads to things like quitting the gym or our fitness or our sport or our hobby, and then things sort of spiral to shit from there. So I know myself, whenever I find myself getting tired or losing motivation or starting to get that CBF going to the gym, it's usually because I'm tired and I'm not sleeping enough. It actually takes just a bit of mindfulness to be sort of aware of that as the cause. Sometimes we take it as I'm doing too much, like I'm working long hours and then I'm taking the kids to their sports and then the gym training is exhausting me, We often forget that the root cause, more often than not, is the amount of sleep that we're getting. So when we lack sleep, we obviously get tired. We lose motivation to do our sport and exercise. Then we start going less to the gym. Then we start feeling a bit crummier. We start feeling a bit lazier. Often poorer diet starts to come in. Then we start to have a poorer attitude to our work and then a poorer attitude towards our family and friends and kids. Once again, it just becomes that spiral of shit. And more often than not, it's because of our lack of sleep. Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, you said it all.
I nailed it.
The one thing I do is get cranky.
Yeah, getting cranky. We all know these things, and it's because we lack sleep. But so often we try to fix it in all these different ways because we think that we don't have enough time. But often we waste our time on phones or TV or whatever before bed, and not only does it keep us up longer, it makes it harder to get to sleep. I think most people these days know about the effects of blue light and the effects of lights flashing and screens going and how much it wires up our brain. What we need to do is cut those things out earlier, prioritise winding ourselves down by switching off lights in the house, starting to turn off screens, going have a cool shower, setting sort of a bedtime and giving yourself like an hour or so before that. You have a bit of a sleep routine?
Yeah, do. Yeah.
So what do you do?
So make sure the room's cool. It's one thing. I like to shower before bed, so I have a warm one, not a cool one, before bed. Get my pajamas on, and then I'll make sure I have any medicines that I need to take, have some water, go to the bathroom, of course. But other things that I've learned as well, if you do really need to, because sometimes I study late, so making sure you've got the proper lighting on your device, or I do prefer books as well, so remove the device completely and read a book instead. Another thing is constructive journaling. I just read about this, which is great because I've got a to-do list and I will put everything on there before I go to sleep, so I know I'm not going to worry about it when I'm lying in bed, and it's there for me when I get up in the morning.
Yeah, so does that help with your mind racing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think a lot of people's mind race, especially because we're just so busy all the time. So it would be very important to write things out. Another good thing, I don't do it at the moment, but I've used it a lot in the past when I have been maybe under higher stress, and that's just some sort of meditation, mindfulness recording. There's a lot of free ones out there. There's a lot of cheap ones out there. It's definitely a practice. It's not something you might nail from the start, but as you do it over time, it is such a good way to clear your head, bring you back to the present moment. Often the thing that we struggle with when we sleep, like Christy said, is we start worrying about things that are coming up in the future or worrying about things that have already happened in the past, things that we can't even change. So we need to sort of switch off that brain. So a bit of mindfulness recording or journaling or something, or sitting down and just reading a book for 10, 15 minutes can do a lot to wind down. But the moral of this story is don't think you can get past poor sleep, because you can't. Don't think I'll be fine, I'll be able to train fine, I'll get all the results I want and lack sleep. It just doesn't happen. I don't know anyone that's proven that wrong ever. So prioritize it. When you are feeling like you're going through some problems and stress or tiredness or whatever, look to that first. You can even pay more attention to the time that you're roughly going to sleep, the time you're going awake. I know I use my phone and that for that sort of thing, and it helps me record, but prioritize it. It's number one. Okay. Often when people come to me for help with fat loss related things or training things or tiredness or work stress or whatever, the very first question I ask them is, what does your sleep look like? That's it.
Yeah.